Welcome back to the 50 Shades of Horror. The 15th film is The Babysitter. This 2017 movie is a Netflix original, so try and guess where you can watch it. Stay until the end of this video to find out what slightly scarier movie will be number 16. Like Freaky, The Babysitter is a horror comedy, but now the blonde is the big bad the whole time. Though she doesn't appear dangerous, Bee is actually the leader of a human sacrifice cult. Let's start where the movie does, with Cole in school. This Cole doesn't see dead people, but he's bullied all the same. We get an interesting example of how the perception of a movie changes over time. When Cole gets a flu shot in the opening scene, it's even funnier to post-pandemic audiences.
Wait, boys, man, be cool. Shit, man. Hey, you gonna take this shot? Just step over here and take the shot, just like you take some ass.
The flu shot establishes Cole as vulnerable, which his mom reinforces when she leaves for their trip.
You got your flu shot, so no exertion this weekend.
Yeah, no running around. Just
I got it. Keep it.
Central to his struggle for independence against his parents' coddling is Bee, his babysitter. This is a coming-of-age story, with Cole at age 12, stuck between being a kid and an adult. The vestiges of his youth are still there, but crumbling. He plays with toys, but with teenage angst. We also see this in the metaphor of his treehouse having its roof removed and put out as trash. The other kids at his school mock him for having a babysitter at his age, but as he puts it,
yeah, but then they see her and they get really jealous.
Yeah, heck yeah, they do.
And let's address the elephant in the room. The way how Cole looks at Bee is going to have to change. Teenage Cole is going to have a very different reaction to Bee than he did as a child. Bee knows this, but she's holding on to that pure, innocent connection that they shared in a simpler time. Their bond was based on their personalities. They were just two people who looked at the world the same way. She clings to their simple friendship while Cole's burgeoning maturity will inevitably end it. That would be her entire struggle if this wasn't a horror movie, but she also needs some of Cole's blood.
All of this only works if we get that top shelf pure shit. And Cole is basically a faucet of that for us.
Cole's friend Melanie says that Bee wants to put him to bed early so that she can do the horizontal tango. Cole tells Melanie to rule that out when she welcomes 5 other people into his living room. But she informs him about the existence of orgies, so he has to spy on them to see what's up. At first, their allegation seems correct, as a game of spin the bottle truth or dare gets real steamy. The last guy to be kissed seems a little shy, but it turns out modesty shouldn't be his biggest concern. This is one scene where I care about spoilers. It hits different if you have no idea what's coming. The next most violent thing we've seen so far is just a tire getting popped, so this comes out of nowhere. Please, someone show this to a friend that doesn't know it's horror at all and watch them get blindsided by this. Just suggest a rom-com double feature with The Duff and let the madness unfold. That would be epic. Cole realizes how he should pretend like he's just asleep, which gets pretty tricky when they try to extract the blood. Cole shows signs of maturity by resisting the urge to scream, and he calls the cops when he's alone. Cole tries to escape via his window, but the blood loss means that he passes out and is captured by Bee. When he wakes up, surrounded by the cult, he asks the question that the audience is wondering.
Why is he shirtless?
That's your first question?
I mean, how can you even ask that? Just look at him.
He manages to convince those present that he didn't see anything, which works until the cops show up. And while his call made the situation bad for Cole, it becomes even worse for the responding cops.
Everybody crazy!
Here we go.
Cole tries to make an escape upstairs, but the cult isn't going to let him get away so easily. This leads to the first death of a cult member, whose neck lets out a comically large spoonful of blood. After a tumultuous escape, Cole tries hiding from them, cowering in a spidery crawl space. Another cultist sniffs him out and follows him. He blows her up with a firework bug spray combo. I will say that I'm a big fan of everyone in this cult. They all have distinct personalities. While it's appropriate that Bee has the most characterization, everyone gets their time to shine. The next cultist to have a run-in with Cole is my personal favorite, Max. He just likes fighting.
No, I'm not like the others. I came here to kill people.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about, Cole! Come on, buddy!
And in his pursuit of Mortal Kombat, he doesn't want anyone to be safe, including himself. He takes this to a comical extreme by pausing his murdering of Cole when he hears a strange noise. When he learns that a bully is egging Cole's house, he stops for a moment so Cole can defend his home.
This is America. You need to wreck his ass.
It doesn't work, but Max is impressed that Cole tried. He even helps him back up to give him a running start. Few killers are this enthusiastic and this sportsmanlike. It may be silly, but it's so much fun. I'd love a scary movie where someone like Max was the main villain. If you know of one, please tell me. But Max isn't the big bad of the movie, so after a convoluted slip on eggs, his neck is snapped. But as sad as I am to see him go, at least we get this truly beautiful shot to send him off. The beautiful shots continue after Cole seeks refuge in Melanie's house, with Bee hunting them down. Apparently she acquired a shotgun from the police car, and she looks pretty awesome with it. After that suspenseful scene, Cole protects Melanie by going outside and screaming out to Bee. Back inside his house, he sees the body of another cultist, who may not be as dead as she seems. She had been shot in the confusion when the cops arrived, and she couldn't believe where the bullet landed.
Oh my god, he shot me in the boob! What kind of dick shoots a girl in the boob? Totally gonna stop growing. They weren't even done.
Once she attacks Cole, he's able to get her off by repeatedly hitting her in that same weak spot. She takes the opportunity to go on this continued woe is me mammary lamentation.
What's wrong with you, you little pervert? You were trying to kill me. I wasn't trying to kill you by punching your dick. I only signed up for this so I could have my dream job. What do I have now, huh? One deflated, ugly boob. My life is over. You're still super hot. What kind of job do you want? I'm a journalist.
But Cole's soothing of her ego is short-lived. Once she regains her energy, they're back to fighting. Cole remembers how his dad put the butcher knife that he was using on his toy in the dishwasher. But that Chekhov's gun was only a red herring, and now this cheerleader has Cole hopelessly outmatched. That is, until Bee turns on her own cult, saving the day with a well-aimed, head-exploding shotgun blast. But Bee is still skeptical of Cole, which he proves is well-deserved when he threatens to burn her spellbook. He demands to know why this is all happening, what was worth ruining their wonderful friendship over.
What's the blood for?
You mix the blood of the innocent with the blood of someone sacrificed. Recite the verses while dripping it on the page. And basically you get whatever you want.
Cole doesn't find the dark side very alluring, so he sets fire to the book before Bee can stop him. While Bee's busy trying to put out the fire, Cole rushes over to steal Melanie's dad's muscle car. That kitchen scene earlier did have a Chekhov's gun, it just wasn't the knife. It was hidden in Cole's lines.
Why are you cutting up your car with a knife?
So it's more aerodynamic. It's also going to give me more downforce on the turns. When it hits the ramp, it'll do a barrel roll and smash into the crash zone.
It was actually the car doing a barrel roll off the ramp, itself made from the treehouse's roof. As if the imagery wasn't awesome enough, the soundtrack treats us to Queen's We Are the Champions. Cole crawls out of the wreck to say his goodbyes to the person who was, up until tonight, his best friend.
I loved you. I'm an adult because when I realized you were the big bad and you betrayed me and were just gonna hurt other kids, I drove a stolen car through you.
Cole steps out of the house to pose on the car, demonstrating how much he has grown up in this one night. When his parents come home and see the carnage, Cole gives the perfect final line to wrap up this movie.
I don't need a babysitter anymore.
But we also get a final scare mid-credits, as Bee reveals that the crash wasn't enough to kill her. What makes the babysitter scarier than Freaky? I'd say it's who actually dies in the movie. In Freaky, not one likable character bites it, but here sweet, innocent Samuel is slaughtered. Even just a few innocent deaths means that Cole and Melanie don't seem as safe as Millie's friends did. I will admit that Freaky was gorier, though the babysitter does still have some pretty gruesome moments. But with this being a comedy and a coming-of-age tale, this is still a pretty lighthearted affair. This movie is especially appropriate for the 50 Shades of Horror, with Cole's maturing. I bet most people could go at least another 15 movies in this challenge without tapping out. I hope this challenge is helping people overcome their fears, seeing movies they would have missed otherwise. The prestigious Academy Awards completely writes off the horror genre, with a few exceptions. Jaws and The Sixth Sense were Best Picture nominees, so this list might have one Oscar Best Picture winner. And sure, movies like The Babysitter may emphasize spectacle and thrills over grandiosity, but there is a reason to add some bloody carnage to an otherwise straightforward teen comedy. This movie's about the transition to adulthood, losing the limited perception of childhood. This could have been shown just through Cole seeing Bee less as a cool friend and more as a person he desires. Though that would probably lead the movie in a sad direction, with Cole's affections being misplaced. But since Bee's secret cult exploits the innocent for personal gain, adulthood looks more sinister. Growing up reveals that the world is not fair. Many achieve success through callously using others. This could have been shown through less overt malevolence. Perhaps B could flirt with rich nerds to spend their cash. But if she literally sacrifices their lives for witchcraft, the parasitism is more obvious. It even makes the movie more thrilling. Not a bad subtext for a goofy teen splatter comedy. And that isn't a wild suggestion for this movie. The script's tight plot is smartly written while staying fun. So don't dismiss scary movies because of their preoccupation with the visceral and the grotesque. Murderous mayhem may hide intriguing metaphors in even the most unassuming horror flicks. My recommended review this week is Sean Chandler Talks About the Babysitter movie review. His channel is focused on current movies by reviewing new movies or reacting to new trailers. In this review, he expresses how surprised but impressed he was by giving McG this movie to direct.
From beginning to end, this is a McG stylized film with all sorts of his little quirks, freeze frames, words on the screen, texting kind of appearance. It's very McG. It's very visual in the way it tells it. The use of music is very kind of in your face, where the music drives kind of the tone of it and the soundtrack of it. All stuff that's so true to his high energy storytelling.
So go check out this energetic analysis by Sean Chandler. The link is in the description. In case you've had enough of these teenager movies for now, the next shade will really change it up. It's 1990's Frankenhooker, a tragic tale where a loved one's death is only the beginning. This is a movie you have to see to believe. So here's where you can find this masterpiece streaming online. I hope you've enjoyed this challenge so far. After next week's, we'll be about a third of the way through. See you next Saturday, and have fun with Frankenhooker.